New listings in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, all well over 1,000, including 1,272 in Hamilton and the surrounding areas. That's a lot of new homes on the market.
That is a lot of new homes. But look at Niagara, 5.4 months of supply. Niagara is taking a beating in the last 3-4 months, and it's just, and I don't know if that's gonna get better soon or not. But everybody's just sitting and waiting. Maybe I don't think people are from the GTA are they're just putting a hold on deciding to move down the Queen Elizabeth Way to Niagara. Listen to this episode. Hello, everyone. This is Rob Golfi with REMAX, the Golfi Team. Welcome to the Golfi Real Estate Show, Hamilton Edition, with host Rick Zamprin.
Good morning once again, and welcome everyone to 900 CHML. Listen, if you want to sell your house, you're in the market to buy a home, call the #1 REMAX team in Canada. That just happens to be the Golfi Team, and they're online at robgolfi.com. That's Rob, GOLFI.com. 905-575-7700 is the number to call. That's 905-575-7700. I will be mentioning that throughout the program, so if you didn't get it there, you'll get it a little later on. You can follow the Golfi Team on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and X. And if you have a topic idea or a question for the Golfi Team you would like answered on a future program, send them an email, questions@robgolfi.com. Again, that is questions@robgolfi.com. Let's get into some statistics in the local area and a little bit beyond. There are some things that I found extremely interesting, and we're looking at the number of sales and benchmark price. And this is year over year, June to June, June 2023 to June 2024. And Rob, two of the things that caught my eye is that there's a lot of red on this page, and that means down sales, down price. The one thing that caught my eye is in Hamilton and in Niagara Falls, sales are down in Hamilton year over year, not by much, 18%, 351 to 287 sales. Niagara Falls up slightly by 5%. But in both of those communities, the percentage of the price is up by 1%. Is that because there is still good value in Hamilton and the Falls?
There is still good value in Hamilton. That covers like Hamilton Center, West, East, and the Mountain. And it's what it's saying is it's holding tight. And like from year over year, but it's but there is good value. Now, right now, I'll tell you, inventory levels are through the roof. If you don't wait for the next interest rate drop to decide to move, get a long closing, but you can make deals right now, incredible deals, because there's so much homes on the market right now, and everybody's kind of stagnant. So opportunities there. But yeah, no kidding. Like, and I'm looking at that. It's 1% up, but it's holding. It's holding. We hit bottom at the end of last year, and that's it. That was our bottom, and now we're kind of floating around in and around that number, and it's going to stay. Burlington jumped from when we hit bottom from that last year. Burlington seems to like December and January it just drops, and then bang, and it gets back on track. So opportunities are there in Burlington for sure. If you are looking at buying, I'd go November, December, and then close on it in April, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you mentioned new listings in June of 2024, so just a month ago. New listings in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, all well over 1,000, including 1,272 in Hamilton and the surrounding areas. That's a lot of new homes on the market.
That is a lot of new homes. That's in June of this year. So yeah. And it's up 7.9 from the June of last year. Which is incredible. And then and we've got like 3.7 months of supply. Now, this is Hamilton and surrounding areas. That's including Ancaster, Dundas, the number the 1272. But 3.7 months of inventory is usually it's up there. It's up there, and usually we're like during the height of when the market was in 2021 and the first part of 2022. Inventory levels were like less than a month, and now we're at 3.7 months of inventory. And then, but look at Niagara, 5.4 months of supply. Niagara is taking a beating in the last 3-4 months, and it's just, and I don't know if that's gonna get better soon or not, but everybody's just sitting and waiting. Maybe I don't think people are from the GTA are they're just putting a hold on deciding to move down the Queen Elizabeth Way to Niagara.
Let me ask you about the 6-month overview. Actually, before I get to that, looking at that chart, it just brings the question. We've been in a balanced market for a while. Are we now firmly entrenched in a buyer's market just because of so many new listings?
Absolutely. We are in a buyer's market, and this is the time for them to get into the market. It is. It just, I'm going through 2 major renovations right now on 2 different properties. And if I didn't have those going on, I'd be on a hunt looking for properties right now. There's opportunities out there right now. I mean, there's opportunities all the time. But more so now. More so. If you go for a deep dive and start searching, you will find that deal. And there's a lot of them out there right now. And so for investors, but the hard thing, the difficult thing is, yes, real estate is expensive compared to was prior to COVID versus after COVID, and we settled at that price, and the thing is with the immigration just coming in, and we got a lot of people living in with family and friends and basements and everything like that that qualify to buy a house, but they're just sitting waiting. So when that happens, when they start buying, it'll stir up the market a bit, but it seems like everybody does it at the same time. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happens. I don't know, if the rain pours, stuff on people, say, okay, now is the weekend, everybody buys. This is the time. But yeah, it's crazy how this is. And like I said before, we're experiencing different markets that we've never experienced, and different trends, different times. Like, it's not like I can follow and say, hey, okay, in the last 10 years, every year, this is the time, where things are happening. They slow down, they pick up. I still believe that February is still good, February, March. But I thought February, March would have been great in Niagara, but Niagara's taken a little bit of a tough go with houses there that aren't selling. And then you got Hamilton is pretty consistent with the February, March, and I'm sure Toronto is too. And Brantford, if you look at Brantford is like they've got months of supply 2.8, which is the lowest, and the average days on market in Brantford is 20 days on the market. Now you've got Niagara at 36 days of average sale price. Like, average time to sell is 36 days in Niagara, 20 days in Brantford, 21 days in Halton, and then 26 days in Hamilton and surrounding areas. So, I mean, that seems pretty normal, and it's just Niagara 36 is a little longer than usual, and Brantford's a little short, is doing pretty good. I mean, they're up they only had 274 new listings in June, and months of inventory is 2.8. So yeah, Brantford seems like the place to go.
Yeah. So let's get to the 6-month overview. And this is extremely interesting. And I'm glad you mentioned earlier that, people are waiting for the interest rates to drop. And I can see why. They're going to have what they feel is going to be a cheaper mortgage rate. Although, when you look at the 6-month overview, how much cheaper is it going to be? Because from January to June this year, the first 6 months of this year, Hamilton's benchmark price has risen by $55,000, $630,000 in January to $685,000. And the same story for Ancaster, Burlington, Oakville, Brant. Like, every community has gone up. Even Toronto is up $173,000 from January to June. All these people waiting, Rob, they're not really going to be cashing in.
No. And like I said, that was the time to buy. That's when we hit rock bottom, like December, January. And things are climbing. And so now you can wait till November, December this year again to see if that'll happen. But otherwise, there is a little bit of a difference in price. And that time, just, timing wise is everything. So the 6-month overview, yeah, it's crazy how in January you could have got a house way cheaper, $50,000 cheaper than you are right today, or depending on the market and the area that you're in. But yeah, definitely it's making a huge difference.
Yeah, Ancaster up $81,000, Burlington $106,000 from January to June, Grimsby up $119,000. That's Back in January, could have gotten an average home in Grimsby for $710,000. Now it's $829,000.
Yeah.
Let's shuffle off to luxury homes. We have some statistics in Niagara and in Hamilton and Burlington in terms of luxury homes. There's a lot, and these are homes priced at $2 million plus. There's a lot of them in Niagara that are kind of just sitting there.
Yeah, it's, you know what, again, if you're looking for a luxury home and you can afford one that's over $2 million, there's 141. That's a lot. And I'll tell you something. With luxury homes, there's a lot of people that want to sell, but they're just sitting and waiting and deciding whether or not. But if you knock on their door and you love their house from the outside, say, hey, I love your house. Are you thinking about selling? There's a high probability they may say yes. Because a lot of people, when they live in their big, large, luxury homes, there's quite a big percentage of them, saying, why do I need this big house? Like, I got lots of land, it's maintenance, it's just nothing but cost, money. And then somebody knocks on your door, chances are there's a 50% chance they're going to make a deal. But what I found is that, and I've mentioned this before, like if you have a house for sale, and you're selling it, and let's say it's just under $1 million, right? And pretty soon every house is going to be $1 million in a few years.
Yeah.
But if it's $1 million, let's say it's $900,000, and then somebody wants to buy your house, and they have a house to sell, and it's a $3-4 million house, and it's conditional on them selling that, I would not take that deal. I would not. I would try to get those guys to go in firm, because those large houses are taking longer to sell right now. And they were talking about on an article in the paper how in Rosedale area in the GTA, there's like 20 or something houses that are $20 million, and they're all sitting and they're all following each other in pricing wise. And I just went, it'll set, if you got too many houses for sale that are high end, people have choices, but the problem is less than 1% of the population can afford those houses. And it's tough. I just went on an evaluation on this week, and the couple, I think they bought 5 years ago in 2019. I think it was like $400,000 or $500,000, but they want $3 million. And we gave them, no, actually they bought 600. They want $3 million. So in 5 years, they almost want to quadruple their numbers. And we're saying, like, how did you get that number? what did you reference that number with? Like, that? And they go, oh, that's just the number we want. And I'm like, so, and basically we said we probably wouldn't take it. I said, I know there's a lot of realtors out there, they have no problem, and they'll take it. And I'm going to be honest, you won't sell it for that much. I said, because where the area that they're in, the highest priced house that sold, I think it was 1.75, and we gave them an estimate of 2.2 million, and we were being very realistic. Really, it's a $2 million house. And but we're getting a lot of that. Like, the high end people are saying, well, you know what, we got a nice property. I know it was nice when you bought it. The property didn't change size. It didn't become more valuable because there's something different. But the rate of inflation, the value, like I do 3 different formulas, and if they line up, and then they do. So will they call us back? I don't know. I think they do want us to sell their house. We'll work with them, but we don't want to give them any false hope at a $3 million. But if they wanted to list at $3 million, we won't do it. The highest we'll go on that is $2.5 million, but with the stipulation that they'll have to adjust their price within 30 days if there's no activity on their house.
So there's more than 3,000 homes listed for sale in Niagara. 141 of them are luxury homes over $2 million, including one that is a 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom, 12,800 square foot mansion listed at $25 million. There's one in Hamilton, 13-bedroom, 9-bathroom, $24.9 million. Seems like a steal compared to the Niagara one.
Yeah.
123 million luxury homes, or 123 million, 123 luxury homes in Hamilton amongst the 1,974 listings. And in Burlington, 598 total listings, 97 luxury homes, the highest priced at $14.9 million. How difficult is it to sell let alone a $2 million home. Imagine trying to sell a $25 million home.
There are people out there that can afford those. It takes time.
Wow.
You got to do the marketing. You need the marketing power to reach and find that buyer, because usually people, when they're buying big houses like that, there are people that are looking, but there are people that, you know, aren't looking, but if it happens to land on their lap and it seems like something they would like, they'll buy it. And so it's tough. That's why you need like somebody with a lot of marketing and contacts and networking and everything to sell houses like that. Now, houses like that, if it's worth 20 million or whatever, it'll sell. But if it's not, if it's a $15 million house and they're looking for 20 million, it's just going to sit on the market and keep going. And what happens with a lot of people when they build their custom homes, these, you know, super wealthy people, they build their custom homes. Like usually luxury homes, like for the super wealthy, don't really make that much money. And just like you can build one in Ancaster, and let's say it costs you like $7-8 million. That house, after it's all said and done in the neighborhood, it might be worth only maybe $5-6 million, and it's hard enough to find a buyer that'll pay that. But I mean, so you got to be very careful. But people that have that kind of money, they should realize you're putting stuff in this house for your own luxury benefits. Yes, and somebody else will appreciate it, but the return on investment on that is not really good. So they're better off maybe putting it through their corporation and get the tax losses on it versus the capital gains. I know capital gains is free on your personal residence, but when you when you get a luxury home, maybe it's better to just put it under corporation and you get to write off the losses that you have. But yeah, it's a tough go. Like luxury homes, we know people, you know, they buy them and sometimes they lose money on them. It's not like the regular homes, like the mass market where they're buying anything under $700,000.
All right, before we get to should I buy a house first or sell first, there are some Canadian cities, three of the biggest ones in the country, who are seeing sellers swarming, but not a lot of buyers. One being Toronto, one being Montreal, and the other being Vancouver, to no one's surprise. So many listings and listing increases in those communities. In Toronto, 56% up for single detached homes. Condo listings up 84%. Overall, 68% spike from year over year, June to June. Same story in Vancouver. Listings up 9.5%. In Montreal, a 4% spike, 24% spike. All these big cities, is there a ripple effect on places like Hamilton, maybe even Niagara, for when those listings in Toronto pop up and they go unsold?
There will be a small ripple effect, especially the mini cities like Hamilton, Calgary, and all those things. Like, you know, buyers are waiting for more significant interest rate cuts before they're even entering the market right now, and so some sellers may be compelled to sell due to financial pressures or more, the future outlook, more inventory expected in the coming months with further rate cuts needed to spur buyer activity. So it is a crazy it's a crazy thing that's happening out there. Like almost 18,000 new units listed in June. That's crazy in Toronto. Like that's a lot of homes. And but yeah, sellers are, they are swarming Canada's housing market. That's for sure. They're just watching and they're getting ready. That's for sure.
Let's get to the age-old question. Should I buy a house first or sell first? And my spidey sense tells me that you're going to say it depends.
You know what? If I was playing it safe, and this is the toughest part, and it's a catch-22. Now, if you're a realistic person and you listen to your experienced real estate agent, and he tells you what your property value is, and you actually believe him. Now, everybody thinks their property values are like $100,000, $200,000 higher than what it really is. You can probably be safe with that. And but if you don't believe him and you think your house is worth a lot more, it will hurt you. So you better be careful. I think if you're going to buy, you got to buy with a conditional on you selling your house, or you sell your house first. But if you sell your house first And then you start looking, and then you can't find what you're looking for. You end up buying something not quite exactly what you wanted. So it's a tough situation out there. And I'll give you a perfect example. There was many years ago, when I first got in the business in the first 2-3 years, a realtor said to his client that his house will sell for $350,000 to put at $350,000. The homeowner said, "Perfect. I'll buy that other house there that you showed me for $275,000, and I'll finish the basement." So it gave him some leftover money to do that. Well, he buys the house for cash for $275,000, and then he puts his house up for sale at $350,000, but nothing's happening. And he's getting kind of scared. He says, "Wait a minute, the realtor told me that, and so he ends up calling me. And I told this story, I think, once before. He ends up calling me and says, "Rob, I got my house listed. I know, and we're not getting any action on it." Like, he's second guessing his realtor. And I said is, "You are going to be very disappointed at the outcome of the sale price of your house." And he kind of like, "What?" It's like giving somebody bad news. It's like predicting the future of this guy, and he doesn't know what it is. And so he, had it for sale a little longer, and then I think he did fire his realtor. Called me in, and I told him his house is worth $300,000, and he said, "Rob, I wouldn't have bought the other house for $275,000 to buy and sell mine for $300,000. I would just stay where I am." Right. And I said, "Well, you got some bad advice." And I said, "Try selling it, put it up for sale privately. It'll save you some money." And so he tried that, and didn't work. Calls me back saying, "Hey, listen, will you list it at $320,000? I said, I'll put it up for $320,000, but you understand, the value is $300,000. So anyway, we ended up not really getting that many showings, and then we ended up finding this one buyer, and he wouldn't budge higher than $300,000 on this house. So we ended up selling for $300,000. So he was disappointed. He's been a client of mine for over 20 years now. Now, that's where things can go wrong when you don't have the right information. So you got to be very, very careful. So if you buy first, be very careful. The value of your house. Sometimes it's safer to sell first and then buy. That is my recommendation all the time.
We're talking about luxury homes earlier in the show. GolfiLuxury.com is a website you will definitely want to check out. GolfiLuxury.com. Speaking of luxury homes, there is a luxurious mansion in Kingston. It is a heritage home, a mega mansion it's being called, and it was constructed in 1841 by a wealthy merchant who made a lot of his fortune building houses in Kingston. This one is steps away from Lake Ontario. It's undergone an extensive 4-year restoration. It is absolutely a majestic mansion. It includes a 2-story library. It has a hot tub and sauna, massage area, and a spa retreat. It's private baths, 5 primary bedroom suites, a 3-car heated carriage house, wood panel elevator, a gourmet kitchen, even a heated saltwater lap pool in the backyard. Rob, the most interesting item that I saw in this home was that it has a fully automated 2-lane bowling alley imported from Germany.
Yes.
That's something you don't see every day.
No, you don't. But there are houses that have bowling alleys. There is one in Oakville that I've been in, a super mansion in Oakville on the water, and they do have a bowling alley. It's incredible, some of these houses that you go into, what they have. I've been in some of the most elaborate theater rooms you would ever see. It's just incredible. In Hamilton, in the Aberdeen area, there's been some houses with some gorgeous wine cellars, especially with, it's just you think you're at a winery, literally an old winery. There's what else is there? Wine cellars, bathrooms. People have, you'd be amazed at sometimes the bathrooms that people have put in these houses. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars And it's just incredible. Like just the different things that you see in these houses, and people have the money if they got the, if they're very super wealthy, and they want something nice that triggers them to enjoy. They'll do it. Like some of the workout rooms, cigar rooms. You got to see some of these cigar rooms that I've seen. It's just incredible. Like you walk in and you're like, wow, like it's amazing to. Not only just to see it, but just can you imagine owning it and living it and using it it's just incredible. Yeah. Like, yeah, if you have a bowling alley in your house, if you have friends come over, you can have, a good time, bowling and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, some people have got some nice things in their houses that people probably don't even know they're there. But, these big mansions, especially in Burlington, you'll see some crazy stuff.
Yeah. Was there ever a home or something in a home that really blew you away?
The bowling alley did in Oakville. Yeah. It's just incredible. Like, it's just something you just, like, it's nice to have. Like, you know what I mean? You definitely, you would go visiting there a lot. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to Joe's house. He's got a bowling alley. Let's have some fun. Let's hope he invites us. You know what I mean? But yeah, there, there's people with, beautiful backyards that, like, you think you're at a luxury resort, and, you don't even see it. Like, even better than most resorts. Like, just the money that is out there is incredible. But yeah, it's nice to experience and see houses like that, and you see them on shows like $1 Million Listing. They're selling
Right.
they're selling $50 million houses, and it's incredible. They're beautiful.
Are there certainly there are pluses to having this as a feature in a home? If this home has a bowling alley or a majestic wine cellar, could it also be a detractor as well? Like, someone doesn't really want to have a bowling alley or a wine cellar in their home, and they'll automatically cross that listing off their wish list.
You know what? I don't think so. I think the more little toys and things that they have, it's somebody in that price point. If they can take it out, I mean, they've got the money to put it in or take it out.
Yeah.
It won't deter. It's got to, when people are looking at houses of that price point, they want to make sure it feels good when they walk in, and mostly those are people that entertain a lot and that are looking for houses like that. They've obviously got businesses, and they probably have a lot of people that would come and visit, and and it's just an added thing that for their house to have people. And then I mean, do they use it a lot? No, but it's there. If they have kids and they can afford a house, young families, if they can afford a house, to have that and young enough to use it, they'll probably use it all the time. The kids would use it. They have their friends over. When you got a house like that, all the friends are going to hang out with you. But a house like that in Kingston, if that'd probably be the most expensive house. The value, yeah. I don't think you'd make money on it, and it'd take forever to sell.
Yeah, very true. Rob, you're going back fishing.
I'm going back fishing. So this time last year, I went fishing, and so I'm going back. I like it when I'm there, but I dread it just thinking about it, and because I'm not into fishing, my friends are. And they like cigar smoking, fishing, and and just drinking wine. And me, I'm just like I'm a little like a water bug. I'm too Piper, and to sit down. It takes me a day or two just to wind down, and it's
right.
And it's tough. It's tough. But last year, I don't know if you remember this. I usually like driving myself because I know I can leave when I want, I can get there when I want. So I'm always a day late, and I usually leave earlier than everybody else because it's just the way I am. But last year I ran out of gas going up there, thinking there was a lot of gas stations, thinking that a lot of gas stations going. We're going to Lake Baptiste, I guess they call it Lake Baptiste. Batista or whatever. And but last year, yeah, I ran out of gas, and I didn't know. You know what? The one thing, I'm going to tell you something, Rick. I solved some of the most difficult problems that anything to do with real estate or anything. Like, no problem. You throw anything at me, I can solve that problem. I have the answer for it, and I know the solution for it. But when I ran out of gas, I didn't even know what to do. The simplest thing, I didn't even know what to do. I was like, what do I do? I don't know. Like I'm sitting here in the middle of nowhere and not thinking like, what do people do when they run out of gas? Right. Like simplest thing. So I see these two cars coming and I said, okay, well, I guess I'll hitchhike. I didn't even think about, call CAA or call a tow truck. That didn't even cross my mind. I don't know why. I'm just sitting there and go, how do people deal with this? Never. And so anyway, so I like stuck my hand out, put my thumb out, and I said, okay, we'll see what happens. And somebody pulls over, and then they helped me out, and they brought me to this little village called Apsley. It was just past Bancroft, and thank God the guy that owned the garage, the gas station, he just happened to show up there because he closes at 5, and everything in this town closes early. So anyway, I ended up getting gas and moving on. So I lost a total of an hour with that, and I'll tell you, when you drive up north, if you pass by a gas station, just fill up anyway. Just even if you got a 3/4 of a tank, you just never know when the next gas station is going to come up, because I'll tell you, there's not many up there. But yeah, so I'll be leaving to go up to going up fishing and meeting up with my friends that are up there already, and do some fishing and stuff like that. It's last year I did lose a fishing rod in the water because I was on the phone. So I always bring 2 now. I always bring 2 fishing rods, but like again, I'm that guy that everybody invites because I am the friends of that group. But really, if they could deal without me being there, but anyway, but it's a lot of fun after when I'm there. It's a lot of fun. So.
I think everyone wants to know, are you bringing a couple of jerry cans this time around?
I am making sure I stop off in Bancroft, and I'm going to fill up. I don't care. And I should be good. Because there is, from Bancroft to his place, I think it's an hour drive, and there is no gas station between Bancroft and his place, so you have to fill up, and I'm just thinking, I'm gonna make sure I have enough fuel, and I was bringing one of my trailers that's filled with wood and stuff like that we bring up for my buddy so he's got firewood and stuff like that. We load up the trailer with wood, so it's heavy. I'm bringing a heavy load with me when I do go up north, so it's burning gas pretty fast. So, but yeah, otherwise I'm looking forward to it. I'm prepared. This is the 3rd year that we've been doing this, and so I'm good. I shouldn't run out of gas, but who knows what comes up my way. So I should be good. But,
well, let's hope you catch a few fish along the way too.
Absolutely. And
so from fishing to baseball.
Yeah, we had our office baseball tournament this year and this past week, and it was great. Like, it brings everybody together. We get shirts for everybody with their number on it and their name on the back, and it's pretty exciting, and it keeps everybody together. We're big in culture on our team. We try to put I'd say about maybe 5 or 6 events a year between the Christmas party and the awards, and we have a small golf tournament that we do, just 9 holes. That's all I can handle. And 18 is a little bit too much for me, and then we do the baseball, and sometimes we do a picnic also. So we get everybody together and have some fun, and just to make it everybody's grinding it out, working hard, and it's good, and everybody gets to know each other. Everybody knows each other, because we have right now. We've got offices right through like Burlington, Hamilton, Grimsby, and St. Catharines is opening up shortly in Niagara Falls. So we have 5 offices. So we have agents that live and work in all those different areas, and we want to make sure that everybody knows each other, so that it becomes very more fun when everybody gets together.
That's a good team building exercise too, and I don't think many or enough companies do that sort of thing. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I spend quite a bit of money to do that every year. And I think it does pay off because our retention of people that work with us stick around, and they notice it when they leave. If they, let's say, maybe one of their partners relocates or anything like that, or they decide that maybe this business isn't for them, but they do miss the culture that we have on our team. It's I think it's very important. I like to work in an environment where everybody is happy to go to work, not dreading. So I think it's important, for mental and what, like it just I mean, it's tough enough to get up in the morning, go and work for 8 hours, and if you have to deal with somebody negative, it's pretty stressful. But I try to put a positive atmosphere in the office, and I think that people appreciate that.
Yeah, that goes a long way for sure. So who was the big baseball star?
I don't know. We actually won it in the tournament, and with my team. And I don't make the teams up. My sales director makes the team up, and she goes, I think I stacked your team too strong. And but yeah, no, it was it's picked by somebody, and they just randomly pick. We don't know who plays baseball. We don't know, if they, right. So it's just randomly picked, and it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's only 3 pitches, and that's it. And it's and people that haven't played baseball, they kind of like it and they have fun. So
that's what it's all about. So when is the Golfi team going to host its annual fishing extravaganza for the team?
I don't know. That'll never happen with me. I'll just say I'll watch from the sidelines. I'll come and visit. No, you will never see me put a fishing derby on at all. It's I think it is kind of relaxing. I think it is. It does. Yeah. It does. It's maybe I need to do something like that just to balance my life. But yeah, I don't. I'm not. It's not the first thing I'll do. Like I don't mind fishing in a pond when I know I can catch some fish. But the guys I go with, man, they will go all day not catching anything, and they'll stand there, just keep throwing their reel in and just keep throwing their rod. And I'm just like, it's something you have to have a passion for. And to me, I'd be like, okay, let's take this boat and let's go for a water skiing or something like that. It's like, right, yeah. And they're like, but yeah, no, it is relaxing. I get it. It's for me, if I'm in the boat with guys, we're shooting a breeze and talking, and it's good. But there's only so many hours I can handle that. It's like same thing with golf. Like I by the 12th hole, I'm counting each hole down. Like, how many holes we got left? How many holes? Like it's just it's tough for me. And same thing going to a resort and laying on the beach. Everybody's just laying there doing nothing and looking, and me, I just walking around and. One time there was these kids racing on the beach. They were doing sprinting. I said, "Hey, I'll sprint you guys. I'll take a run with you guys." And seriously, and everybody was filming and saying, "Who's this old guy running against these 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds?" And I'll do it. And then all of a sudden, there was a crowd around us looking at this crazy thing. Myself racing against 13-year-olds. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Listen, Rob, have fun on your fishing trip. Hopefully, we won't have any stories about you running out of gas, and that should be a lot of fun. You can listen to our show online through Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. Just search for the Golfi Real Estate Show in your favorite podcast platform. Hit the follow button so you never miss an episode. Thank you, Rob, and thank you for listening to the Golfi Real Estate Show. We're back next Saturday at 9 on 900 CHML.
Good stuff.
Yeah, picking the wrong realtor, that'd be a big mistake. That cost me money.
Hi, Rob here, and hey, we get it. We get that the right realtor makes all the difference. My advice, talk to 3 realtors, including one from the Golfi team. Compare and you'll see no one gets results like Golfi because of the millions we invest in marketing, getting you the most money in the least amount of time.
The Golfi team, Golfi gets it. pick the right realtor. Just Google Golfi.